Today's topic is menopause and weight loss. As our bodies age, we go through several changes. One of the most common is menopause. Menopause is a natural biologic process that marks the end of reproductive years. But it also comes with its own set of challenges, including weight gain. So in this video, we will be discussing key points of weight loss when it comes to menopause. We will be going through 4 main reasons why menopause leads to weight gain and the 5 steps to overcome this. We will be discussing the importance of a healthy diet and what we will need to be eating to be seeing weight loss during menopause. Exercise. We will dive into the key things to include to aid results and to speed up any kind of weight loss. And finally, I will be going through what the biggest driver is of weight gain during menopause, and it's not what you think it is. So let's get into it. Hormones changing, aging, menopause can all make weight loss harder, but not impossible. Firstly, why does menopause lead to weight gain? 4 main reasons. 1. Hormone fluctuations. Both elevated and very low levels of estrogen can lead to increased fat storage. Secondly, loss of muscle mass. This is a natural side effect of aging, and for women, it occurs at a lot faster rate than men. Thirdly, poor sleep. Many women have trouble sleeping during the menopause, which can lead to skewed hunger levels, resulting in overeating. And finally, a reduced rate of metabolism. Reduced estrogen can lead to a slower rate of metabolism, but not to the point where weight loss is impossible. It just slows it down. So what can we do to tackle this? 5 main steps. Firstly, a calorie deficit is still required. Science does not change after menopause. If you want to lose weight, you still need to be inside a calorie deficit. Secondly, resistance training with weights or bands can be extremely effective in preserving or increasing lean muscle mass to increase your rate of metabolism. More on this in a bit. Thirdly, increasing protein intake. Protein helps you feel full and satisfied for longer, increases metabolic rate, and increases muscle mass to offset that loss of muscle mass that I talked about earlier. Fourthly, include certain foods that offset the changes in our bodies during menopause and to aid results. I'll break this down more in a second. And finally, number 5, increase sleep quality, which I will cover as well in this video. So back to point 4 of our 5-step plan. What foods to eat? As already advised, a calorie deficit will still be the biggest driver of weight loss, but the foods we choose to eat inside that deficit can aid results. Protein. So now you know that menopause slows up our metabolic rate. Slows up, does not stop it. So consuming a high protein diet can help to increase your muscle mass, which in turn will increase that slowing metabolism. On the screen, you will see lots of different protein examples. If you're new to consuming a high protein diet, simply start on getting a good portion of protein in every meal. A good portion is around 20 to 30 grams. Foods high in calcium. From the age of 35, we start to lose calcium in our bones. So you want to include a variation of fruit, vegetables, and dairy-based foods inside your diet. Now, if you struggle to consume dairy and it makes you bloat or whatever, this is where you may want to include a supplement in your diet. However, if you actually track your food intake on an app like MyFitnessPal, it will tell you if you're getting adequate calcium already from your nutrition, and if not, then you can see what foods to add. Fiber. Fiber firstly helps our digestion, and a good digestion results in higher energy, which during menopause, females' energy is incredibly low. And this is a main reason why many struggle with motivation to stay consistent to exercise. There's also been quite a few studies to show that consuming high fiber can also reduce in hot flushes, but this varies from woman to woman. Again, you can track your fiber intake in an app like MyFitnessPal. A good amount of fiber in a day is in and around 25 grams. Reduce foods containing a high amount of salt, sodium essentially. When our hormones fluctuate, it can result in water retention and inflammation. Foods high in salt also do this. So if your body is already holding water with that fluctuation of hormones going through menopause, and then you're consuming a lot of sodium or salt on top of that, it can make that inflammation and bloating worse. Again, you can use MyFitnessPal to track your sodium intake. Side note, this is why I preach a lot on my social channels about the importance of tracking your food. It's not just for calories. It's so beneficial to see what's actually in your food and to gain an awareness of your mineral intake for the things mentioned above. Now let's talk about resistance training, point 2 of our 5-step plan. As explained, when our bodies age, we lose muscle mass. This in turn slows the rate of metabolism, making it harder to see weight loss. It also leaves us vulnerable for a lot of different health issues. So yes, resistance training helps aid weight loss, but it's also so important for general health and to strengthen our bodies as we age. There are lots of different ways to weight train, so it's all about finding a method that you actually enjoy. This could be joining a gym class that includes weights. It could be using resistance bands. It could be dumbbells, or if you're a beginner, even body weight movements to get comfortable with the movements. You can actually check out the link in the caption below for access to my free Facebook group, where I have lots and lots of different workout plans that you can just use. Now, let's talk about the main reason why women gain weight during menopause. And like I say, it's not what you think it is. When I first started learning about menopause, I attended a lot of menopausal support groups. And I still do. You see, I had studied and done so many courses, read so many books, but I wanted to learn more about the real life struggle, away from all the science. I wanted to know the reality, how these women felt, the impact on their lives, the impact on their confidence, emotions, and so on, so that when I actually coached them, I could understand. You see, in most cases, it's actually very straightforward to give a client the science, i.e. what to eat and how to train. The real art in coaching is actually understanding how that woman feels individually, because our life, our emotions, how we feel in our body day to day has a huge impact in our adherence to a plan. So off I went every Saturday morning for weeks to this support group. And I learned so much, way more than I ever learned at any single course or seminar. The women told me every last detail about night sweats, cravings, mood swings, and the feeling of not recognizing yourself in your own body. I listened. I asked questions. I tried to understand the women actually experiencing it. And what I learned the most was that the science and the change of hormones and the metabolism wasn't actually what was driving the weight gain, or why these women were struggling to lose the weight. I walked away from these sessions thinking, I've got it all wrong. Because up until that point, I had believed that the change in hormones or metabolism was the biggest driver of all this weight gain and weight loss struggle. But it was actually the change in the women themselves. And it completely changed how I coached peri and post-menopausal women. You see, it was things like the inability to sleep properly, and the result that had on cravings the next day, making these women want to eat more sugary, processed things for more energy. A lot of them were emotionally eating as a means to try and cope with feeling lost, feeling low in confidence after this huge change within themselves. A lot. Most of them were struggling with energy. And this led to a huge decrease in motivation to exercise consistently. A lot of these women described it as dragging themselves through each day. So it was all these things and much more that was actually making it so much harder for these women to adhere to any plan on a consistent enough basis to lose the results. So it wasn't actually the plan that they were struggling with, it was the consistency to your plan. This is when I realized that for menopausal women, my biggest challenge of a coach was not about the science or setting a client what to eat or how to train. It was about helping them to stay consistent to the plan. And for the hundreds and hundreds of menopausal women that I have coached since, this has remained true every single time. So in conclusion, weight loss after menopause can be hard, but it's not impossible. By focusing on a healthy diet, regular exercise, making lifestyle changes, and your adherence to a plan, i.e. the consistency and the habits around that, you can lose weight and maintain it. But understanding that a lot of the science to lose weight post-menopause is the same as pre-menopause. The real battle is staying consistent. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.